What's up, fam? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Alchemical Oracle, Lo, your local psychic medium, honey, as well as your arc mechanic energy healer, okay, trans channeler, okay. We just be doing all types of shit over here. So if you want to tap in to get some spiritual, esoteric, and high level knowledge, definitely tap in and subscribe. If you like this type of content, definitely like it. If you find some gems, you better fucking like that shit, bro. Because half of y'all aren't subscribed to me, okay, which is but I would prefer if you tapping in, you might as well just come on in. The fuck. All right, if you guys like this, definitely put your questions, comments, ideas, click-ins, all that good stuff down in the comments. So today we are going to be getting into the depths of how to start a journey. Now, I'll be using my personal example of how I got into a health journey just to use it as a consistent example because y'all, like, these examples that I be giving through my videos be kind of haphazard, and Thoth has been getting on me about that shit. So I'm trying to be more structured, okay? So bear with me here. If you have any questions or if something doesn't sound quite like you don't understand it, definitely leave it in the comments below. I'll definitely get back to you, or at least release another video answering that question. So let's get into it. So today we're talking about how to start a journey. And one of the journeys that I was really excited about starting back at the beginning of my spiritual journey was learning how to be healthy. And what I want to start with is teaching you guys about the 3 steps on that journey. Now, 3 steps to starting any journey: your spiritual journey, your healthy journey, your self-care journey, your looking sexy and beautiful journey, embodying your divine feminine, divine masculine journey, balancing and integrating yourself journey, whatever those things are, okay? And they all usually just sum up to just being like the journey of my life or my spiritual journey with all those things slapped into it, whatever the case may be, right? But today I'm gonna give you some solid key phases that you go through in a journey, and that way you can find out what part of your journey are you in and how to escalate that journey for when you're feeling stuck, stagnant, and like you just want to get the fuck up out of here, or you just gonna quit, okay? Because usually when you get stagnant in one of these stages is the area where you're able to bounce up out of there, okay? Because each threshold has a point of no return, and you can choose to bounce up out that threshold at that point, and that's up to you, right? So let's get into it. So these 3 categories are going to be your interest phase, your indoctrination phase, and then your assimilation phase, okay? We're gonna talk first about your interest phase. Your interest phase is going to be like a dip and dabble. You're gonna read some books, okay? You're going to watch some videos. You're not really dedicated to the craft, but you learn a little bit here and there passively. So that's like on your Instagram, you curate a little bit of your timeline, the people that you follow, to following certain people who talk about health, and they're telling you, okay, well, don't drink tap water, nigga, because that shit is trash, okay? And definitely get you some higher pH water or some natural water, which is better because it's higher in natural minerals, easier for your body to integrate than supplemented minerals, right? We're learning about little things, eating this type of fast food has a bunch of chemicals in it. This type of fast food says that this is this type of meat, but it's really this. Do you really want to be eating that? Eating this thing has ammonia in it. Don't eat that shit. That's disgusting, right? So we're starting to talk about different foods, and this is just my example, okay? But when you're getting into, let's say, for example, health. When I was first getting into health, it was a lot of freaking shit going on. Hold on, am I even recording? Okay, I am. So it was a lot of stuff going on. Like at the time, pork was an out thing. Then we started, me and my dad really got into it really deeply when I was coming out of high school into college. And we started with the alkaline machine. That was like really when that was like really popular. And my dad had one of the only alkaline machines in our area, and he just had hella customers coming up and filling bottles. And then we got a shower machine. Yo, taking showers, oh my god, okay, I can't go too far into that, but let me just say, heavenly, very different than bathing in tap water, okay? And those kind of things have stuck with me throughout my journey. Like, now I have a full house filter system. I don't deal with the tap because that's some trash, okay? I like the fact that me or my daughter could drink right up out the sink, and I don't have to worry about no chemicals being in there. And if I want really great water to cook with, whatever, I have that right up under my kitchen sink, alkaline, bam, right at my fingertips. So these are things, and not having the inconvenience of having like a big ass machine on my counter, because I literally hate that machine. It's just too much maintenance for me. I'm a chill girly, okay? So when I'm telling you, so you have your interest phase, when you're dibbling and dabbling, you're learning a little things, you're incorporating them, you're seeing how they work for you. Do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like this? Okay. And then in that same area, you start, it's very exciting, but it's passive. So you're just coming across information as you are consuming on your regular time. Okay, whatever your free time is. You are at the same time being completely and utterly blasted with illuminations of blocks to the reason why you couldn't be healthy sooner. So like, say for example, a lot of us do crash dieting. My mom was a crash dieter for a really long time during my childhood. And until I got in high school, I didn't understand why, you know, we would go on diets with her and all of us would lose a little bit of weight. But me and my mom, we just, you know, we just were the size that we were. And even though we got slim in different areas, like we would gain in other areas when we stopped, blah, blah, blah. You just never could keep the weight off. And it really showed me like, okay, in order to be more healthy, it's not about starving myself, or it's not about not eating this way or doing this. It's about, okay, what type of foods am I putting in my body? Do those foods agree with me? And then working with that, working with herbs, working with, you know, different types of superfoods or foods that are highly nutritious, and subbing those out for foods that have low nutritional value. Stopping the areas where I'm counting calories, and more so looking at where am I eating empty calories, and removing those items and placing them in with high nutrient dense items. And for a long time, y'all, I was trying to go vegan, I swear for God, but I can't be vegan, okay? I found out later in years, I could not figure out why I still had a little bit of pudge on me no matter what, and I'm a kapha type, okay? First of all, how you gonna be a kapha type and be allergic to gluten? Trifling as fuck, nature. That's trifling, but we're going to, just saying, like, and that helped me a lot, like learning that I couldn't eat that, because for a long time I was making wheat meats, okay, doing all the things, but I still was like, I would get really slim, really thin, really chiseled, but I would still have a pudgy going on because I had wheat belly. So learning about those things, right, putting them into use, dipping and dabbling, that is your interest phase. Now, phase 2 is your indoctrination. Indoctrination phase is when you start to drink the Kool-Aid, okay? Drink the Kool-Aid of whatever journey that you're on. So for example, on the spiritual journey, that would be the love and light juice. You probably drinking the fuck out that juice. Or if you're on the darker side of the path, on the left-hand path, you might be drinking the Satan juice, okay? You might be drinking the I'm going to make myself into a God juice. Whatever the idea that those are just like the general structures, the general idea arcs that you are in when you're in those types of learning environments. And so you're going to start drinking that juice of just like, this is better than this, that is better than that. For me, when I came in, okay, fruitarian was the thing, honey, okay? You had that banana girl who was only eating bananas, okay? And because of that trifling girl, I can no longer eat bananas. I am now allergic to bananas. Thanks a lot, Hannah Banana. Okay, I was drinking the juice of eating a 80-10-10 diet. I was on that for almost 2 years. Then I went into being a vegetarian. Then I was a pescatarian because I was like, y'all, that vegetarian vegan shit is trifling than a motherfucker. Okay, it was inconvenient. That was before they had like your Impossible, your Beyond Meats. Okay, I'm aging myself a little bit, but I don't give two hot fucks. Okay, that shit was trifling. There was nothing that you could not eat outside. You had to eat that shit in your house. You had to make that shit in your house. It was some trifling ass shit. So then I was like, I'm gonna be a pescatarian because then it's easier for me to go out with family. It's easier for me to go to family events and eat fish. Blah, blah, blah. So that's what I would do then. Okay. And then, also y'all, just honey. Okay. I love honey. I usually buy from like a local, bee farm, but y'all, okay, hold on. Cause this is, get it together. Okay. So I usually buy from a local bee farm. So that was just really like, oh, so I was so glad to add that back into my diet. For some of y'all, that might be cringe. I don't give a hot fuck. And I had to stop drinking the Kool-Aid of everything. I had to stop drinking the Kool-Aid of hateful ass vegans yelling at people. I had to stop drinking the Kool-Aid of watching those fucked up ass videos that be happening in farm factories when I don't even eat that shit no more. Okay, I used to make myself sad and cry and be indoctrinating myself into not eating certain foods because it's bad for me. But I need to understand why it's bad for me, not the trauma of seeing that shit and then being like, I could never, because that never lasts long. Okay, you could see somebody kill a nigga and be like, I could never. But if you get into a situation where a nigga is trying to kill you, it's kill or be killed. Okay, now that might sound exaggerated, but it is, because whenever you are going into anything with fear, you're never going to excel in it. Okay. So in indoctrination, we are digesting the state of consciousness, the state of the collective consciousness of that group. Okay, and I want you to think about Christianity. When someone gets indoctrinated into Christianity, they start doing all that Jesus stuff. They start saying, oh, Jesus saved me from A, B, and C and sex addiction and blah, 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 blah. But it's because they were indoctrinated. They drunk the juice. They drunk the Christian juice. They drunk the Muslim juice. They drunk it because they needed what was inside of the vessel. For some of them, that vessel was salvation. For some of them, that vessel was sobriety. For some of them, that vessel was love, self-love, self-help, therapy. Okay, community. Okay, so when we're talking about that, like for me, it was, the early stages of like healthy eating, healthy stuff like that. So when you're in a journey, you're drinking the hot juice, you're drinking the hot Kool-Aid. When you're in the spiritual community, people be saying all types of dumbass shit. Okay, like some people be saying, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that without doing it. Nigga, none of those rules are real. Cause that shit irritate the fuck out of me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, none of those rules are real. No matter what you're practicing, those rules aren't real. The thing is that rules are made so that you steady your progression. Okay, especially when we're talking about closed practices. Those rules are there so that you slow roll into working with certain stuff so that you don't fuck your life up. Okay, it's not like, oh, if you do this spirit's gonna get mad at you. Most of them spirits is probably laughing their ass off watching you fuck around and find out. But people have made those rules to make sure that you enter and exit certain ideas safely until you are ready to assimilate into that practice. Okay, and that's set for everything, even open practices. Open practices are the same. The spirits are not gonna let you just walk into a world of just deep ass shit, because feasibly your mind has to adjust. It has to break into it. It has to develop a knowing of the conscious language, the understanding of what is being said inside the community. What type of language are they using? What is the jargon? Okay, what type of old ass people in the past or the ancient past were talking about these deities, these gods, what type of systems did they create, and then how did that create that now, and how is that going to affect the way that I work with it now? Am I gonna choose to be a traditionalist and work in the way that they did in the old ways, or am I going to modernize that and practice a neo version of it? So what I want you to understand is when you are in the indoctrination phase, you are in your learning phase, you're in your deep dive phase, you are in the, this is my scheduled time to study, this is my scheduled time to practice, this is my scheduled time to blah, 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 blah. You're now becoming structured in how you are entertaining the environment, okay? And that's okay. It takes time to get into that space. Now, the third, and this is the area where you get consistency and diligence, is in the indoctrination phase, because it requires consistency and diligence to try a whole bunch of fucking shit that this information is bringing you to see if it works for you. For example, when I was in my indoctrination phase for energy healing, right? Oh, let's go back to the herbal, right? So when I was in my indoctrination phase for herbalism and learning about stuff like that, what I would do, I worked at a health food store at the time, so I would study while I was at work, because we were required to study on the clock at least 1 hour a day. So I had the book right here, because I had to get me one, niggas. Like, what you saying? Sorry, y'all, I got a new drone. So I have this book right here, and I know they have like a new version, but why am I gonna buy it twice? Nah. So nutrition, I think it's prescription for nutritional health. I also have one of the prescription for natural cures. I love these books. These are some really great books. Now, I would study this book like hours and hours and hours and hours in my early 20s. Okay, I'm 30 now, and when I'm telling you, like, my 20 to 23 years, I was studying this really consistently. Okay, I'm talking about, we're in here talking about inflammation. What type of herbs do you need? What type of essential nutrients do you need to increase in order to promote your body healing certain issues? Okay, we're going into like fibromyalgia and learning how you can treat and help yourself sustain certain things internally, okay, on your own. And when it's time for you to know it's time to take your ass to the doctor or get some type of procedure, and how can you support, because you can still use this shit. If you're going to the doctor and the doctor is telling you you need surgery or you need whatever, you can always come back to this book and increase the nutrients on this shit. Because if you got an issue and you gotta get surgery for that shit, don't you think that your body's gonna need that same nutrients to rebuild, to recover from that trauma of them cutting your ass up? Of course, nigga, what the fuck? So this was like one of the things that was really big, like depression. Okay, they have a whole section on depression. As you can see, my depression is like deep, because I used to work in film, y'all, and film was very depressing for me. I had a lot of anxiety too, and that kind of fucked me up, because I developed a lot of addictive behaviors during that time. Now, what I want you to understand is when you are doing, when I was in that phase, okay, when I was in that phase, I was dedicated to it. I was coming home and I was changing out the way I stopped buying like seasonings, and I started buying bulk herbs, bulk spices, and I would put together my own shit. I started making my own hair butters. I started making my own creams for my body. I started making my own shampoo co-washes. I stopped getting my hair pressed. I stopped getting perms. I had a keratin treatment for the longest time, and then I went completely just natural than a motherfucker. Okay, I literally just came up out that stage. I'm still not putting the creamy crack in my hair, because that shit is trifling. But when I'm telling you, like, when I was in that phase, I literally shifted my entire identity into this idea of being natural, moving in with the earth, making my own tinctures, my own medicines, my own sloughs, all of that shit. I started treating myself from the earth. I started communing with the earth. I started meditating more. I started working in earth magic. That is one of the first places I started working with magic, is working with earth magic, roots, herbs. Before I knew what hoodoo was, that's probably a lot of what I was practicing, because I would just do what the spirit was telling me. And at the time, my spirit didn't speak loud, but I just had the urge to put certain shit together. And when I put that shit together, it would shake, it would work, and the shit would work well. Okay. So after, like, when you come into this phase, this is about application, applying knowledge. You're gonna soak it up, and then you're gonna apply it immediately so that you can really gain that wisdom. Now, in assimilation, you're gonna take the wisdom you gained in your indoctrination phase, and you're going to start to filter your web of wisdom with everything that you've learned up until this point, with everything that you've accrued up until this point. And what you're gonna do is you're shaking that shit. Is there any beliefs, any delusion, anything in here that just don't motherfucking apply? Okay? What doesn't apply here must get the fuck out of here and go. Okay? Straight up, no cap, no bullshit, not fucking with you and shit, but legitimately, if it's not it, it gotta go. Okay? And so when we're working with that type of energy, it is a little bit annoying. Okay, this is the phase where you're gonna have shadow work, where you're gonna have delusions breaking down. Sometimes a delusion is made. Okay, hold on. Let's talk about delusions. Delusions are structures to get you from point A to point B, or to maintain a certain system. So for example, if I am someone who practices with the earth, one of the main delusions of that is going to be serving the earth, making sure that the life that I live is not too pollutant to the earth. I'm going to keep my pollution, my carbon footprint down as an individual. I'm going to support types of things that are going to keep the earth clean. Okay. I am going to recycle as much as I can. I am going to compost whatever I can't, whatever else I can. I am going to grow plants. I am going to have a piece of the mother within my home. Like all of those type of things. I am going to commune with the trees, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's going to assess inside of that place different. If you're a scientist, you're going to be looking at planet conservation, nature conservation, right? You're going to be looking at climate change. You're going to be looking at that type of stuff. If you are a naturalist, then you might be someone who stopped shaving, stopped waxing, stop plucking eyebrows, stop doing all this type of stuff. You might even start having dreadlocks, or you might go natural. But the thing is that you're stopping all the things that are cosmetically and socially accurate in our society, but not necessarily needful. It's wasteful, or it's not natural, right? You might stop using deodorant, or you might only use natural made deodorant that you make yourself. So just kind of stuff like that. And a lot of the times, we go through our phases and shit, but that's your indoctrination phase. Now, as you come, we're in assimilation. So now that we're in our assimilation phase, and that was your indoctrination phase where you just assume all that shit. But now as you come into your assimilation, you're saying, okay, well, dreadlocks are kind of inconvenient for me. For some of y'all, that shit might be the bee's knees. But for some people, that's just inconvenient, because I really like my hair to be clean, prepped, and done all the time. And that just fucks up the health of my locks. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I really even need locks, or maybe I have the wrong type of locks. Maybe instead of having, thicker locks like the ones I have, maybe I'm going to get sister locks or micro locks, and I'm going to cut them off and start over. For some people, that might mean going from natural to getting a perm, or going from natural to being natural but making it more convenient. So now you're gonna be wearing wigs like moi. Okay, it's gonna be the difference between understanding that I don't need to be vegan, I don't need to be pescatarian, I don't need to be crazy with the environment type shit on the health side. I could just make sure that I'm eating plant-based, making sure that I'm eating consistently, because now I know, either way, something is suffering if I'm gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I really even need locks, or maybe I have the wrong type of locks. Maybe instead of having, thicker locks, maybe I'm gonna get sister locks or micro locks, and I'm gonna cut them off and start over. For some people, that might mean going from natural to getting a perm, or going from natural to being natural, but maybe I'm gonna get either way, something is suffering if I'm gonna eat. And I just need to be okay with that and understand what I'm willing to have on my conscience that's suffering while I'm eating. Am I willing to see a cow suffer? Yes or no? Am I willing to see a dog suffer? Yes or no? Am I willing to see a cat suffer? Yes or no? Am I willing to know that I'm eating the suffering of a fish, of a plant, of, whatever? Everything is experiencing suffering when we cut into it, when we make it into a food. Okay, so regardless of whatever the fuck it is, if it was alive at some point, it had fear that you were going to eat that thing, you were going to hurt it, or you were going to kill it. So that shit don't even fucking matter. Just do what is best for your conscience, because if you're doing shit against your conscience gonna make your life a living hell, you feel me? So now we're now understanding, okay, what wisdom have we learned, and we're integrating all of that into our being. That is best practice, best knowledge. Our personal practice is now being very solidly made, and it's solidly founded, right? Because we took all that time being indoctrinated so that we can make a foundation. Now we're altering that foundation to make sure that we don't have any weak points or anything like that. Those are those delusions that don't fucking work, right? So we're removing delusions of lower consciousness, okay? And the way that I think about this is, let's say, for example, I like construction. So I'm a DIYer, and there's certain things that I do as a DIYer when I don't have the right tools, when I don't have access to the right material, when I want to be better for the environment. So I may use old materials from old demolition or old windows or whatever that were donated to a place, and take them apart and make them into something else in my home, right? But then if I'm a construction, if I go from being a home DIYer to a construction worker, or to someone who is going to be doing the DIY ideas that I have in a more consistent manner for other people to have in their homes, that is different. And I have to take into account like the logistics, the ideas of what is right and purposeful when it comes to carpentry, making sure things are really solid, because it don't matter if it's crazy solid for me at the house. If it gets fucked up, I can always fix it. But if I'm sending somebody else and they're paying a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 for that thing, I needed to make sure it's stuck together and it fits perfectly, right? And it works right, and that it doesn't break too easy, that it's sturdy, right? So these are the type of things that I want you to kind of keep in your mind and think about, is that some of these things are required for you to shift consciousness and to remove those delusions that I could just do A, B, and C and cut corners, because in certain scenarios that's not appropriate, okay? And that is where you get that wisdom when it comes to your assimilation phase. In your assimilation phase, you are starting to become, or you are at the beginnings and in the area of mastership, okay? You're in the area of being able to master something and to adequately be able to either teach people or to provide a service or to provide something for other people when you become in a state of mastership. For example, at the space that I am in my journey, I feel that I have come to a state of mastership. I'm not a master in my opinion, because a master is always a student. I don't feel quite there yet, but I know that I am in the stage of mastership. I'm opening up to talk about my own knowledge, my own wisdom, right? And to become a master, you need to be able to adequately teach others and get them similar results to you. So when you're in your stage of mastership, you tend to spread wealth of knowledge, of wisdom, of craft, of teaching whatever particular thing that you have learned amongst your journey. It doesn't mean that your journey has stopped and that you're not learning anymore. It just means that now you're hitting a new level of understanding about how this knowledge affects people in a wider stance and not just your own personal experience. Okay? So I hope that this made sense. When you're starting a journey from beginning to end, you're going to go through these 3 stages, okay? That And those are your interests, your indoctrination, and your assimilation. When you're interested, it's just chill. It's a vibe. You're learning here and there. You're dipping and dabbling, okay? When you are in your indoctrination, you're getting down to the nitty gritty and you're saying, I live for this shit, nigga. I'm down with the sauce. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm all in here. I'm all in, right? When you get to your assimilation phase, you're saying, yeah, that indoctrination bullshit, those delusions when people first come in, straight up newbie shit, nigga. I'm not a noob and I ain't dealing with no BS when it comes to certain things. I'ma just make sure that, you know, I'm doing shit that works for me, and I'm not really trying to get into none of this old ass blueby nonsense. And sometimes there's a lot of nonsense worked into a lot of things when you're first coming in, because we have a lot of either people who start to teach while they're still in their indoctrination phase. So you have a lot of teachers who are ready and accessibly available in the vibration of a beginner who are giving out information. Therefore, they don't have the wisdom to understand that certain things that they're teaching are only for a period of time. And over time, when they come out of that stage, you will hear them say things like, I used to think this, I used to believe this, but that shit not even really true. It was true for me then, but now I'm understanding that I was just operating at the consciousness where that was true. And once I realized that shit wasn't even true, it didn't even apply to me no more. That's the type of shit that you're going to learn. When you find someone who has entered the stage of mastery, that's the type of person that you need to kind of lock in with and be around, because they really understand and they really got the moves. They got the shit that's gonna put them from point A to point B, and they can help you get from point A to point B, right? They might be on their way to point C, D, E, F, and G, but because they already been through where you at, they done mastered that stage and they can help you. And you always want to be learning from someone who has mastered this stage that they're teaching. They still in that stage, like really, really new to it. You can still learn from them, but at a certain point, especially if you're a fast learner or a fast progresser, you will surpass them rather quickly, and that can make shit weird as fuck. Do you feel me? Especially if you know them on a personal level. Okay, so leave your questions, comments, situations, whatever down in the comments. I just love hearing from you guys, okay? No cap. I love talking to you guys in the comments. I love hearing you guys reach out to me over on TikTok and in the comments and in the DMs over there. My DMs are open to the public because I really want to hear from you guys. I really want you guys to feel like you can contact me if you have any questions or you have any video suggestions, okay? And you can always tap in with me over in my link in bio on my link tree or whatever link is down there, and that is going to show you how to get into my email list, how to find all of my other channels, and soon to be, there's going to be some other things that you can join if you tap in with me. That's going to be down there in those comments, so definitely tap in. I love you guys. I hope that you are in a high vibration, that you are feeling lively and thriving, okay? I want you to know that if you feeling struggle right now, that shit is temporary than a motherfucker. So stop being sad because you're recreating that shit every day, and don't nobody want that fucking shit. If you want some shit to go good, wake your ass the fuck up, okay? And understand that you got the power to change that shit, honestly, right now. But it's not going to change right now. But you got the opportunity to start that change right now by shifting the way that you're thinking, speaking, and acting about it. And then as you're doing that, you change the prayer that you live in. Therefore, you change your life. If you want to know more about that, definitely listen to some more of my videos, because baby, I'll be breaking that motherfucker down. Okay. If you guys want to tap in, learn some more knowledge with me, definitely watch another video. I'm gonna put some recommends over here or there, okay? Make sure to subscribe and like, honey, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.